All episodes lead to this one. Well, that and the tour, of course. Anyway, it's the finishing touches, car parks and maintenance. But the real question is, can the game hold out long enough for us to get done? Hello you guys, welcome back to Nerdolandia for what is going to be the last build episode, but of course not the last Planet Coaster 2 series. That's already underway, by the way. I'm already doing some research and some planning. So, this was our Get to Know You park, and I think 16 episodes is enough to get to know the game. And this is the behemoth that we came up with. And guys, actually, it's good, right? I like it. So this is that final episode, you know, the one that the nerds love, the ones like me that absolutely love it. It's the backstage and maintenance and the tidy up of the park, right? Because we need a car park down here. I started doing it, and then yeah, it's a thing. I need to get rid of the graveyard and all that sort of stuff. And I need to make this a car park and make sense of this maintenance area down here. Talking to maintenance areas, we need a big maintenance area. Like I know we've got this bit down here, but we do need a big service centre. So I think this is going to come in here, and I also think we're going to need some kind of offices. Now the game, as you can see, is still a little bit unstable, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do the interiors of offices, but we are going to do offices, and they're going to be sort of in this kind of space. And then I do also need to just do something around here as well, just to bring it all together and make sure that the park is finished. So yeah, there's lots to do. It's not going to be a middle episode, it's going to be a cut to done. So I'm just going to crack on. I will see you in a minute. Alright guys, this park is serving can't, as in it can't go on because it's now that unstable, which is a shame because I kind of wanted to do all of the high detail stuff in the maintenance areas and car parks and whatever, you know, stuff I'm famous for, but the game just won't do it. It's at the point where it crashes more than it plays. And do you know what? I think I'm okay with that. I'm getting as bored with this park as I think you guys are. And I mean, look what we've achieved in 16 weeks. I'm still chuffed with what we've managed to do. And given the game and the state at launch, I think we've done pretty well. So I'll come back and probably do some more fine detailing and stuff when there's been a couple of patches and whatever have dropped. But yeah, I mean, let's have a look, shall we? Let's see what we've got, because I've done stuff, as you can see. There's lots of stuff that's been done. So all around here, I've done the car park, and I'm happy with this. By the way, there's about a 10-second delay between me finishing placing a path area or a square and then being able to place the next one, even on my 14900K. So yeah, I've definitely reached the limit. But ultimately, I've got the coach park here. I've moved a couple of the spawn points. In fact, I've moved them all. I moved all the spawn points. They're now all like nicely lined up, and the guests all now filtering as I want them to from the coach park. So coming, oh, I think hang on a minute, there we go. There we go. Right, so down in the actual bus area then, this is like the bus drop-off. This is where there'd be public transport and stuff. So I found this bus shelter on the workshop. It's brilliant. Look at it. It's absolutely perfect. So I've stolen that from the from the bus, from the workshop, and it's, yeah, I like it. I really like it. So if this is yours, I can't pronounce your username, by the way. Even if I wanted to, I can't pronounce it. So thank you for that. So around here, I've just tidied everything up. As I said, we've got like this lay-by and stuff, and I just copied across all of the foliage and that sort of thing. So we're all good. And then I put the road in. So here's the main car park, and with Thorpe Park being my home park, you can tell that I am into a chaotic car park. Carowinds, by the way, is the inspiration for this car park, and it is just a massive tarmac with a load of parking spaces and a couple of trees breaking up the area. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of thought process and plan. I mean, there obviously is, and there doesn't seem that there's much in the way of thought processing and planning when it comes to the car park. So of course we drive on the left, so we would come in this way and then we'd filter into the spaces, and if you go into the water park, you'd come in this way, come round and then filter in that way, and then you'd exit this way. However, I haven't put any arrows and stuff down, partly because the game keeps crashing, but partly because for American players that want to load this, you're going to come in the other way, right? So you're going to come in this way and then come around this way. So I've left it open to your interpretation of how you want to do that. And then this side we've got more coaches. So this is like a coach overflow, or this might be coaches for the water park or whatever. You might want to split the audiences and stuff and then be done with it. So then all along this side, I've just finished off all of the fencing. So you can see here, I finished off all the fencing, put in all the trees and whatever. And as I said, I had to stop. So I had all bigger plans for this area. I wanted to do more stuff, but in fact, I'm kind of grateful that the game's gotten to be able to do this bit. crosswalks and stuff here. So this is all now in place, and this is sort of like as you'd go into this space here. This is a really bad strategy, by the way. In the UK, this wouldn't fly if we were doing this properly. You wouldn't want to have people walking along here into this area where you've got buses pulling out and stuff. It's just bad form. But you're going to find that guests are going to be entering the park sort of this way or this way anyway. Very few are going to be using this bit down here, but it is still a path, you know, just for the sake of having a path. In the actual maintenance area here, it doesn't look like much has changed, but I've done a little bit of tweaking, right? There's just some positioning of stuff, and when I was placing these down, they were all pretty much symmetrical, not symmetrical, they were all uniform and in line and stuff. So I've come along and just given it a little bit of randomization, you know, like move the bins a little bit. You wouldn't notice it, but it's enough for you to go, yeah, okay, I see what you've done. I get it. Like these bins and stuff, they've just been moved. It gives it a little bit of life, doesn't it? I think that's kind of what I'm doing. And then down here, I say I've not been able to do anything down here because I just can't. But what I have done is I've put the path or the roadway along this way, so it now comes around the outside of the Intamin launched, and then it comes down to this bit. This is the bit, however, that I have done the most work on. Look at this. This did let me do it. So what I've wanted to do is a staff car park. This is the staff car park here, and the guests would come. Not guests. No, not guests. Staff would come in and park their cars, and I've just used the buggy for scale, just so I know how many cars and stuff we can fit in here. If you ever go to Thorpe Park and you get access to the staff car park, it is exactly like this. It's a mess. In fact, that whole building, it's horrible. It's quite the experience to park in that car park. But down here, I've left this deliberately open. So this is the railway shed that we did in the previous episode when we did the junior coaster. So this is where you're going to then come and service all of your trains and stuff. And I've just finished off the fencing and just given it, you know, a little bit more life. And again, exactly the same here. I've just come along and I've just moved some of the bins and just given it a bit more random variation rather than it being very uniform. Like these were really uniform. Almost, well, it's because I was using not ZX to keep them going, right, to keep them placed down. And that's not how it would be. They'd place them down and they wouldn't be uniform. They'll try and get them as uniform as they can. So this is probably as uniform as you're going to get, but they wouldn't be this uniform, or that uniform. So I've just done some randomization, and I think, as I said, it just pays off. So it's fine. I like it. And then I've just changed some of the textures along here as well. This was a little bit too gravelly, so all I've done is I've taken the like the grass brush in a really fine percentage. It's like only maybe 2 or 3% on a really wide brush, and just run across it a couple of times just to make it look like the grass is growing through. And this is the kind of effect that you get. You get this patching. This is one thing actually this game does. In fact, the original did it quite well too, but this is one thing that the game does really well, and it's texturing on the ground. So you can do some really nice effects. And like as we've always said, nature and stuff knows no bounds, nor does the gravel. So it would peek through fences and that sort of stuff, and you can do that here. And then you can line off this bit with grass and stuff to make it look like it's grown, you know, where there's been a particular bit of overgrowth and whatever. Then along here, I've just forested it out a little bit, so we've got quite a bit of foliage and stuff going on. And again, I can't really do much behind it because of crashing and whatever, but I like it, right? It's yeah, it just gives a little bit of character to it. It feels like it's set in a world rather than just sitting on its own and just living there. Then over here we've got lots and lots of sheds, and they're broken up into zones and themes. And I've got to try and remember what I've done. So this is the more construction bit, the more construction area. So this is where you're going to find all of your support pillars. So they're all like lined up and piled up all along here, and you've just got like these ones over here have been placed down, and then you've got skips and stuff. So this is where like all of your construction materials would come and be kept, and you'd have all of these hoppers and whatever. And then of course we've got these butane gases. That comes as, by the way, part of the maintenance pack that's on the workshop. I linked to it in a couple of episodes ago. And then of course you've just got the hangers. Now these are all copy and paste. That's exactly what they would have these hangers, they just come prefabbed and you just throw them up, and it's less on the planning applications and that sort of stuff. So this is exactly what you'd find. So then this one is your more like maintenance and servicey areas. So this is where you've got pipe work and connectors and aircon and that sort of stuff. So this is more like so the one behind us here, that's engineering, and this is more maintenance, if you like. And then you've just got, a couple of bits in the bins and whatever, finish this off. This is the HR office. It's a direct copy, but a really bad direct copy of Alton Towers one. It's just a prefab metal building. It's nothing special. It's a warehouse. It's a converted warehouse. There's nothing more to it, but I like it, right? And it's just this big rectangular building. This, by the way, would host places, people like finance and training and probably the uniform department and I can find out, continuous improvement, that kind of thing. They would all live in this little building, and they would have then parking that's all along here. Now, because this is a like an industrial area, so this is exactly what it is, an industrial area, you would have safety and stuff along here. So I've just put the walkways down here, and then a couple of zebra crossings and road markings and stuff, just to give it the idea of having a little bit of stuff to it, having like a bit of bustle to it. I really do hope we get a backstage pack. That's going to be incredible. So this is the garden centre then. So if you like, this is where all the plants and stuff would be looked after. This is where all the planters would go out the season and that sort of stuff. They are just it's just a big warehouse, and you know, that's what you'd have. So these are all the plants and stuff outside. These are all the planters that may have lived at some point in the actual park itself. Now they've been moved. Then we've just got a few facilities that are set back. So a couple of tanks and a couple of gas tanks and stuff. They would kind of be set back so that they're out of the way. They don't need to be fenced off or anything. They're just there. Then we have the pool bit. So these are the ones that are looking after the pool area. So this is where you're going to find like all the rubber rings and all that sort of stuff that you'd find for the water park. So that's all in there. I haven't done inside, by the way. I really wanted. Oh, I can't even show you in there because it goes dark. I really wanted to, but it's just not going to happen. Then down here we've got some more parking, and then this is the rubbish area. So this is where they're going to have all the bins, and this is where they're going to collect them from. So all of the bins in the park would come into this recycle part, and then it's probably dealt with one of these as well. So that's there. And then this one is the retail space. So this is where you're going to find all of the retail stuff. This is where you find your shop signs and your decor and all of the stock and all of that sort of stuff that you would find in all of your shops around. So that's why you've got a bit of mess and a bit of clutter, and the shop signs and the picnic benches and all of that would live in here. And then this one is just the overflow. This is where extra stock and kitchen equipment, like as you see down here, and all the shop equipment and the HVAC units and all that sort of stuff. These are the ones that would be looking after your actual buildings and your maintenance and stuff. So it's really important, by the way, that you do zone off your maintenance areas, and that's exactly what I've done here. And it's so that you've just got like work zones, so you know that if you need something, then you know where to go. It's not just dotted around the park. So elsewhere in the park, let me show you some of the other minor tweaks that I've done. And again, these are just blink and you miss it kind of tweaks. Down here, I've just tidied up some of this building. There were a couple of the roofs and whatever were just slightly out of line, and they were causing a little bit too much like Zed fighting and stuff. So I've just like done some of that along here just to give it a little bit of tidy up. And again, over here, I've just moved some of the trees. There was just a little bit of clearance problems, and I've just repositioned ever so slightly. And again, you wouldn't even know that I've done it, so I don't even know why I'm pointing it out. But yeah, it's that stuff down here. Is it broken? Yeah, it's broken. It's fine. I've loaded the game and it's just not doing it. Likewise in the log flume area. So I've done some stuff in the log flume area just to finish that bit off. Specifically around the maintenance bits, and again, it's the terrain and stuff. It's just, I don't know, sometimes I just come along and change stuff for the sake of changing stuff, just so I can say that I've changed it. I probably didn't need to. It was probably fine, but it's important to have done that sort of stuff. Likewise here, I've tweaked some of the fences. They just weren't quite lining up on the curbs as I like it. I haven't had a chance though to copy across all of the signs for the coasters and whatever. So, you know, the spare signs that I've got, I just can't do it because the game just doesn't let me, but it's all cool. So there you go. This is the park from the top. This is 16 weeks worth of work, and I think we've pulled it off. And we need to do I've probably got one more park in me. I want to do another series, so that will be coming soon. But guys, thank you for getting to the end of this episode and this series. The next episode, of course, is the tour. So we're going to go down to guest level, and we're going to see the park from guest level. So I'll see you for that. Have a good week, guys. See you later. Bye bye.